Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by the call. Today is I'm Ignacio Albornoz and one of the founders of Cutler. Um, we are doing these webinars monthly just to go on new updates and changes and announcements on the platform, on the Cutler platform. And well, today we have a lot of that. So I'm happy to. We are recording this for the people that is not able to attend today, but yeah, we have a lot of things to show you today. If anybody wants to do any comment beforehand, I'm happy to I don't know, just jump off and I'm gonna mute you, Dustin.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Dustin, how are you?
Hi. Am
Okay.
I not muted?
I'm gonna mute you, so yeah, so just to avoid background noises, okay?
Yeah, no, I'm feeding, so that'd be great.
Okay. You like anyone can raise their hand whenever you guys want and interrupt me. I don't mean this to be just a monologue. Of course, there's a lot of things to cover, but it's always better if there's questions or doubts, whatever you want might to raise. Okay, there's still more people coming in. So I'm gonna share my screen now. Can you guys see my screen? Anybody?
Is this something you need to listen to, or is this
I'm gonna
like a news meeting or something, or? Yes, no?
Yeah.
If it is, that's fine.
always happens. Dog's iPhone. Probably mute here. Okay, there you go. Okay. From time to time, I probably had to switch to this. Okay, if you see my screen, we are doing a new update. We are doing this monthly, so it's turning into a nice routine. Also because we are updating very frequently the app, as you know, or as you might notice, we have updates every 3 weeks, more or less. So in some months you will get like even 2 updates in the same month. So we really mean this to be very dynamic. So today is an important a webinar because this is about, there's a couple of things to announce. This is the agenda, like some announcements. I don't mean this to be like longer than 45 minutes, 1 hour. So I'll try to be as quick as possible. But there's some announcements. There's new updates. There's the update happening tomorrow night, and there's been an update earlier this month, or end of last month. We didn't get a feed into our last webinar, and I think it's an important one, so we going over there. Then a little bit of the roadmap, so what's ahead after these updates, and then always space for questions and feedback. So there's more people joining the room. Okay. So one important announcement, or 2 important announcements that we want to do is the fact that we have already signed with Elanco, the agreement to get into the benchmark program. So this is an important one because this is something that we have been negotiating for quite some time, and we are really pleased to be part of the Elanco benchmark program now. So this means in practice that you will be able to receive within the Cattler app, if you sign up for it, comparable benchmarks, comparable metrics of different aspects of your farm compared to others in other regions. Like some of you might already know this, but some of others not. So this is an important thing. It is not automatic. We will send you an authorization form at some point, or a proposal for signing up, and then you will authorize it or not. The other thing, so this is not going to be showing up now because we just signed this a couple of weeks ago, and we have to work. We are already working, but it will take about a month to show up on the platform, the first features. And the way we're gonna go about this is not that it's going to be just all fixed in one section. It's going to be distributed across different features whenever it makes sense, certain metric or certain other metric. So we are really happy to join this program, and it's an important milestone for us. Another news, we also signed some time ago an agreement with an insurance company that is focused on the cattle industry. It's a smaller company, but it's very dynamic, and they work offering hedging tools, mainly so far LRPs and LGMs, so price risk protection and margin risk protection. And in the same way, whenever you are creating a new lot, you will be able to, if you want to set up a hedge for a given lot and for a given owner. Sometimes you're managing a lot with more than one owner. So this is even more advanced than Elanco in terms of implementation. So probably by the next update or the following one, we will have that in place. So, but that's a very nice announcement, two nice announcement that we want to share with you, and these are important for the progress of our company. So, as many of you might remember, last time's webinar, we went over some new features. We reshaped some of the features on the dashboard, some of the metrics that were there. You saw that there was just the commodity prices pending. We also did announcements on lot entries so that you can now, well, from some time already, add very granular information on every purchase or every for the same lot, different origins, different more the detailed stuff. We also created last time. This is even last webinar thing. The lot plan, which basically opened a whole world of possibilities with regards to planning and new alerts. We did some visual improvements in Yardsheet. We also added delivery plan for the cell phone version, and well, there's a little bit of mistake there. And we also began to specify more alerts for specific feedstocks. And also we added lots and with letters, with many people who were asking for that. So that was last time. And I like always to give a sense of what last time was, just to give you a sense of the progress. And of course, there's not always the same people attend to the webinar. So it's good as a brief reminder. So this new these last new updates, the one that already happened some days ago and the ones that is happening tomorrow, come with a lot of new stuff. And this is a lot to cover, but and we are really excited about what about this, because these are long time features, like very weighted features that we have been partially launching, and now we are officially launching, and it's great. And I'm gonna show, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about them more on the very platform. But briefly, on one hand, we have the whole animal health section. I would say it's 90% because we still miss a little bit of a subsection. I will show you shortly. But I don't know, everything about being able to treat cattle and manage sick pens and manage all about the health of the animals is in place. The other part of this picture is the individual management, because along with animal health, all the individual management aspect of this shows up. And of course, we had already pre-launched some of the individual management features, and you could see already individual animals. But now we have much more versatility as to how to deal with this individual management aspect of the log. So we also changed significantly the general settings subsection, and we have a couple of new key features I would like to highlight. We have more improvements. Last time we had some improvement, like especially visual improvements in Yardsheet. Now Yardsheet is becoming a much more useful and practical section. You will see shortly. We have some changes in sales and then the closeout report and the lot status report that we'll see shortly. We have a new report this is a Yardsheet report that is downloadable, and you can check it out. And there's many people also in Argentina, they are asking us for help, and we'll have more options and feed delivers more criteria to seek information, retrieve information with more flexibility. And then there's also some little things there's been the commodity prices that you might have seen in the last days, that there were some mistakes there. We have corrected those. And there's also more flexibilities when we're talking about change the amount of cattle that you have in a new lot. So let me here step up a minute, and I'm going to go to the app itself. And what you see, of course, this is the last version is not online. Some of these things, especially the animal health, are all in place. Some others are the ones to be updated tomorrow. When we are testing, we do it with a lot of Argentine folks sometimes we use Spanish ingredients for making different tests, also because we are doing this also for Spanish language. So let me go over it, and I will show you soon. So on one end, animal health. So animal health, it is more than a section. Of course, it's also a section, but it's a whole dimension of how you manage a feed yard. And what we have tried to do is just to make it as simple as possible, in the sense that you, as a farmer, you just need to do your stuff, and the software has to accompany what you're doing. So we try to make it as simple and visually simple as possible. So basically, animal health section, you have 4 subsections. One is treatment planning, where you basically plan treatments. The same way as when you are in feeding, you plan feed deliveries, and you plan what you're going to feed to every pen. Here, what we do is basically trying to create treatments that might happen whenever a lot has begun, like just arrived, or when something has happened, like there's a ill animal and you have to treat it. So some of these events happen on an organized manner, on a bulk manner, on a blood basis or on a group basis, and some others happen because it just happens, and you have to treat them along the way, especially in the individual side of things. So you have this section, which is the one that allows you to treat animals, and you can create a new treatment, and you pick a lot, and then you will establish a disease. Here we have IVR as an example, and then you will pick a protocol. You might have like one or more products. We can see more populated in some of the users that are already using this. And you can pick a health risk coefficient. You can do it, you cannot, like whatever you prefer. And then you are free to establish one shot and a date for a first shot. If you want another shot, you can do also a date for another shot in X amount of days. And you can do whatever instruction, and off you go. You have created a treatment. This treatment will give you alerts, and you can go here and see for this lot what you have to treat. This is the first treatment, then you have a second treatment whenever you do it. So, and there's like different ways to execute this. There's the bulk way, so you will just, there you go. You will just execute the first shot here, and this is a bulk way to treat. Like typically when you're processing cattle, or there will be another way to do it, which is like in the chute, one by one when you're processing. Then there's the protocol subsection, where you have basically protocols, and you, in the same way that in feeding you have rations, and you create a ration as a set of different ingredients. Here in a protocol, you're picking, let's say that you create a new protocol, respiratory. You can choose the inputs, and then you have a protocol, and you can establish what is the dose, what is the basis for the dose, by pound, by head, and you can use, I don't know, 5 cc's per pound, or whatever metric that you want to use. And then this is what shows up when you're creating a treatment, or when you're just treating an animal, even if you don't have a treatment by itself. Then there's a third section that, for the ones that are already testing the animal health, is kind of new, where you see the list of animals that you have pulled out. So this means, on one hand, that now what we have now and we didn't have before is that some of the pens that you see in the yard sheet or in the you can assign them as sick pens. So they will be both a feeding pen and also a sick pen. So you can, on one hand, feed them, and on the other hand, they belong to the animal hospital subset side of things. So you see that there's this animal here, and this animal is the one that you will see here in the animal hospital. So one nice thing is that you can just get in here, and you can see an individual profile of this animal, You can change you can add a health risk. You can edit the disease if it's changed. I'm just going to leave it like that. You can modify it in different ways. You can now assign a treatment, either a protocol or a product. Protocol A, you can add some comment, and you can even backdate it. I'm treating today, or I treated it last week with X doses, and then off it goes. So that will appear in his story. First, he was sent to the hospital then. Now is being applied this protocol. It knows, the system knows that it's 10 units because you applied a protocol and not a single product. You can also treat with a product, and then you define the dose at that moment. So this is pretty flexible. You can also, there you go. You can also send it back to the home pen. You can mark it as dead, or you can just add a comment on this. You can also see a chart of the animal weight growth, and that also opens another window to animal weight that I'll go over that. And it shows you also what's the withdrawal date, because when you go to supplies and you go to the vet part of supplies, for every pharma product, you will have now a withdrawal window of time. We'll probably change this name, but we're open always for suggestions. So it's basically, what is the term of time that this animal needs to be withdrew when we are applying this certain vet product. So this unifies the management of animal health with the management of the individual side of things, and also linked to the feeding side of things. This is the animal log that is not yet here, and it will be very quick because it's basically the same thing as in feeding. In feeding log, what you see are all the events of feeding every day, and in here you will see basically the same, where you will see all what's been happening, either like a general treatment, bulk treatment, or an individual treatment. Everything's going to be here listed. So this is an important thing that is new, and it's also merging with the fact that you can already treat animals on the cell phone and connect to an EID. So it links all the parts of this chain, and I think we're hopeful that you will like it. And of course, you will be able to use it with your own EIDs, if you're using EIDs, or your own visual tags. So this links to another aspect, which was in the presentation, which is the number point 2, which is individual management features. So here we go to either cattle management. So you already know this. You can go to a certain sublot to a certain lot in cattle management. You can go and see every individual, and then you can, there you go. You can see the same profile that you were seeing on the animal hospital. So it's not that you have to go only through animal hospital to see an individual profile. You can go through cattle management now, and you can also work with EIDs and change it manually if there was any mistake, or you can also put the tag if you're using like typically temple tags or something like that. Some of those are visual tags. But also now, if you're not using EADs, you can also do some bulk ID actions. For example, I'm going to edit what animal here, but I can, I don't know, either change manually the ID or the tag or the class or the breed. The class, it would be I'm going to change this term, is this gender, or the breed. But also I can select more. I can either select a group here. Sorry, I made a mistake here myself. There you go. You can go here and select some of those, and you can do bulk edit tags, where you can now put a prefix, for example, I don't know, perhaps the name or the letter that you assign for a certain owner. We're gonna do 3 decimals, starting number 001, and a suffix if you want. If you don't want, no, let's B. And now all of a sudden, every animal in there has, or the ones that you have selected, have automatically updated the tags. So this is a very cool feature that many people have been asking us, so that you can like quickly upload information. There's other cool stuff that is also connected to animal health, is that if you see here, these 3 animals, these are flagged because these are in withdrawal. So whenever you are trying to sell cattle, probably you're gonna get an alert, and then you can check, hey, what was the animals that were with withdrawal? Oh, this one, I cannot sell these ones here. And at any point, you can just check in there and see, okay, what was the profile of this animal? What was happening, what the history was, whatever, and what's the withdrawal date. The other nice thing is that you can also, in the yard sheet, now I said we have been doing several improvements on the yard sheet. You can go to every lot, to every pen on the yard sheet, and now you will also have a roll call of those animals in that pen, regardless they are part of the same lot or no. So you're not looking from the lot standpoint, you're looking from the pen standpoint. Of course, if the lot is the whole lot is the same pen, you will see all the same animals that you will see on the lot. But here, if you have like different lots in between, within the same pen, you will see the different ones, and you will also be able to get into the individual animals from here. So what we're trying to do, if you get it, is we're trying to find different ways to get into the same information, to look at this in different ways, and to being able to interact with the information from different entry points. Another improvement that we did is we added a couple of the metrics that have been asked to us, like, for example, what's the owner, or what's the percentage of dry matter intake over body weight. Also, the ability to connect to the bank score here quickly, for that same lot, or go back to the pen view of this lot here. Like, so you can switch, and if you're scoring the bank, you can do it like more or less quickly. One thing that we're gonna do also very soon is that we're gonna add a visual of the bank score here, so you don't even have to go to the bank score section. You just stay here, and you can bank score for this pen right now, right here, and checking information. So you have it very handy. As you can see, we have been doing some visual improvements also, like to clean it up a little bit more. Now, let's go to the third point, which is general settings improvements. So in the settings section so far, whenever you would go to general settings, you would find just the fees. Now that has changed, and if you see, we have created like a more organized and reasonable general settings of sections where you will be able to customize different stuff. So the first three that we move forward with, well, of course, was the lot fees, which is the one thing that you saw before. The other one is what is the way in which you want to use the mass units. If you want to use pounds, this is like especially, for example, for countries for Canada, where they might use tons instead of pounds, even if there's in English. So it's like we are trying to make more autonomous one thing from the other. And also, you can pick what is the way in which you want to increase the weight of the animals. So by default, so far, we have the NRC Cutler model, which has been also through certain improvements, and that you will probably see Saturday morning refreshed. Now, by itself, the NRC model, it's taking more events, so it recalculates more quickly when everything happens. For example, you're changing, like backdating a cost, and you can now backdate more stuff. So the NRC model is trying to update itself more frequently and with less errors. We will also, just for this option, we'll also add different models. So we'll probably make a partnership with different companies that have different models, or nutritionists that they want to use their own model, and you will be free to use the model that you prefer. And also the other way is, the other way to do it is, okay, I don't want to use an NRC model. I want to increase them according to the growth plan. And this means that whenever you went to you created a lot. This was an innovation from last update, from the previous update. You had a plan, and now you can establish, I don't know, what is my expectation for this lot to grow? I don't know, what is the expected average daily gain, and what's the end weight, and what's the date? These will give you alerts, but also you can establish this as a way to predict the weight gain for this lot by lot. Of course, it's not the same a lot of cows, and then a lot of heifers or steers or whatever. So you can establish that one by one. It's not going to be useful only for that, but also for comparing expected weight gain against what is happening. So this is also an important thing. The other thing is that now you can change your language yourself. So by default, the language of each feed yard is based on the country, but sometimes you're in a feed yard and you have like Spanish speaker operators. So even if the account is in English, he might choose by user, and that's why it's not in the general settings. You can pick the language that you want among these three: English, Spanish, and Portuguese, which is a new one because we are heading in towards Brazil right now. So that's a new thing, and you have seen me sometimes battling between English and Spanish sometimes, and I found my own page in Spanish. So now you don't have to worry about that, and you can be as an owner on an English speaking account, and if you have a Spanish cattle cowboy, he can work in Spanish. So, well, I have already talked about the improvements in Yarshit as well. That's point 4. Now let's go to changes in sales status and closeout. So in closeout, you will see that there's been like some changes in the structure of the report. This is a status report. but it's like a little bit cleaner. And you have more things. You have a gross margin here. We took out we took the hedge out of this because we understood that the hedge would be by owner. Sometimes there's two owners with the same lot. And it shouldn't be on a lot basis. This is on a lot basis. And we added other expenses that you might want to add. So it's a lot cleaner. We really hope you like it. On the other hand, if you go to sales, let's go to sales. There's been several changes. Of course, the homepage of sales, sales for cattle. You create a new sale. You pick between the closeouts that are available because you just close the closeout. You just close a lot, and the way you send them away, it might be different from the lot unit. Maybe you put together two half parts of a certain lot and to sell them together in the same truck. So what you can see is that there's been changed stuff. Of course, you have the dress carcass versus lightweight. You have all this is optional. The client, the invoice. And now you can edit what is the lightweight at the feedlot. If by any chance you don't agree or you made a last moment weighing of the truck that the cattle is coming out to the truck that is going to the slaughterhouse, something changed, and this is a last update on these groups of cattle that are going out that might coincide or not with the lot. And then you have the weight on arrival, the dress weight. It also self-calculates. Let's say that you have 35. So there was a little bit of a shrink there. Then this is useful for analytics down the road. Then the dress weight was, let's say that we took 60%. And then gives you, it will calculate. It is not calculating here, but it will calculate. It's calculating the opposite way. Let's say something like that. And then gross sale value and sales expenses. So then you have a net value. So it's much clearer, and at any point you can come back and edit this information, and this will go all the way to the closeout. So this is another important change in the reports. Also, if you can find them always on the closeout reports. So here you'll find the last version of this. Number 6, there's a new report, a yard sheet report. You can get data, and you have like a very simple snapshot of every pen with every lot. This in Argentina, they use it a lot, and you can print it out or download it in the CSV, and you can, if you prefer that way, you can just go with that and or do a simple report to give a snapshot to somebody that needs it. There will be more options. They don't appear here yet, but there will be more options in feed deliveries with regards to lot and with owner and with totals instead of like the daily or monthly. That will be probably tomorrow. Over there will then little things, price corrections. We did some corrections here in the commodity prices chart of the dashboard. And we also are adding the ability, if you're creating a new lot, until you make a movement, you will be able to change the amount. Let's say that you made a mistake and or somebody gave you the incorrect number and you thought that you created a lot with 55 head and it was 54. You can now change that for as long as you don't make changes to this lot. I don't know, if you add, for example, if you move them between pens, then you cannot do it anymore. If you add EIDs, then you cannot do it anymore, and then you can just have to kill it. But now, today, you just have to kill it. So this is it for this last update. It's a lot of things. I'm going back to the presentation. Let me show here. Oh, I have to. There you go. So with regards to animal health, this is the very new thing. When we have should in place, which is next update, we will charge this a license on top of the other one. If you bundle it, you will have a discount. But basically, we'll give you all these features I was telling you about on the health side of things. If you don't want to use it, you can always, as you do today, on the lot expenses section, you can add the pharmaceutical expenses, and doesn't change, and you're still on the feeding license. Let me show. I want to show you one thing I would do for the ones that want to jump in and begin to work with. We're gonna, temporarily, we're gonna charge like a reduced license, because should is not there, and there's a little part of health that is not there. So we will be able to use health anyways at a shorter amount of money. And then you can just always get there, or just go to shoot as well. So next updates will be, well, the further completion of animal health, the health events log, and the improvements on the treatment. Some improvements in treatment, because we want to ignite a treatment and have a shortcut directly to the shoot, the same way you do it from feeding to when you go to the mixer track, like kind of the same dynamic of working with the app. We'll have this shoot section. So this is the next updates. We cannot commit you that we will have all of them in the next update. So I'll leave it like kind of open to the next one or two. But for sure, the first 3 or 4 things that will be there, including there's some details on they're still pending on the feeding delivery planning, where we have been asked to add some features as percentage to divide it between deliveries, or put pick a ration on pounds per head. So some of this stuff, a lot feed planning is coming, where you will be able to define how many days is going to be this slot in this ration, and then you will be able to transition to the next ration. There will be more reports, and probably in about a month or so, we'll have the first analytics from Elanco. Just as a reminder of to have a broader basis, this is what we are doing. This is our pathway. This is what we are following. We are doing these feedlot segments. We're opening with all the sections that we want to play. So after animal health and shoot, we'll have more admin, like more sophisticated admin, like account management features, like more for people that are more on a more sophisticated way, and they want to connect to the accounting system. It's not accounting system, but it's more sophisticated way to manage the administrative side of things. On one hand, we're going to the other value chain stakeholders to create these synergies and these offerings with regards to insurance or the Elanco benchmark program, etc. And on the other hand, we're beginning the development of all the CAUCAF side of things, which include all these sections. So this is our roadmap, and I think it's good that you know where we are heading towards. And I don't want to make it longer. I'm happy to receive questions or comments, whatever you want. Don't be shy. And if you're shy, don't worry. We will record. This is all being recorded. I think there's some comments here. Let me check them. Can we only have 2 users in our account? Yes, of course. If you want to limit it, yes. And that's according to the license as well. Will this presentation be available after webinar? Yes, absolutely. Yes, it will be. We will publish it on our social networks. Can we assign a different yardage charge to the hospital pen? Not yet, but it's a very good idea. I think Corey, you have mentioned that to somebody in the team, and we have taken note of that. Probably gonna leverage that. Give us a little bit of time. I have more than 2 feeders that I need to have access to the account. So how can I do that? When you speak about feeders, what you want to untap your microphone? What do you mean like feeders, like the people that feed?
Yes, I have like 4 guys that will need access to the account.
Yep.
So they can all just use my password and get on.
Well, yeah, they can. I think the advantage of being able to use different users is, if you want, that you will be able to see what they're doing and what each one of those guys are doing, because you will see across the app that they're like, for example, let's say in the feeding, you go to the feeding log and you know exactly who was the operator, and if he did it, like for example, if he fed manually, this icon appears. If he didn't, well, these are all manual.
How do you set up that user then?
Exactly. So you can set up in settings, and you can create let's say you can create one role, which is operator, one role for operator with the same permissions for everybody. I don't know, let's say this guy has all the permissions, but you can give him just, I don't know, access to this or that section, and then you add a user, and you assign him that role. So there could be 4 guys with the same role.
Okay.
Of course, that depends a little bit on your license, but I encourage you to try it out.
Okay.
Can you talk more about the pricing structure? That's the all-inclusive. What's the all-inclusive price? So it's been difficult for us. Let me go to the previous, the one in May. I think I did a change in their pricing structure over there. I don't know, it was the same thing. We are sophisticating this a little bit more, but in general, we want to show it simple. But in general, with the feeding license, you have everything that is involved. I will show you if you go to the web page, you have the more Cadler or farm, you have the more like detailed version, plans and prices. So it's published. So far we have published just the equivalent to the feeding section, because we hadn't the animal health in place. And also we received many users that were very small, and we said, okay, this is free, which is very limited, no devices. This is up to 300 head. I think that doesn't even impact you, because this is for very small micro feed yards. And then whenever you have like 300 head, it is just more convenient to go to, over feeding. Feeding has up to 5 users, capacity up to 50. No, sorry, up to 30 pens, and then you will see that we will add a little bit more detailed information in terms of, hey, I'm paying the feeding section, but the feeding license, but I have 40 pens. Okay, we'll do a little bit increase, but it won't basically essentially change the prices. We want to make it keep it simple. So it's basically this. We are learning ourselves, so this is something that is moving, but this is the basic guideline. For example, probably the grain bank, we're going to charge apart, but we're going to charge $10 per month more. So these are little increases, but basically this is you're going to find, and it's not going to change anytime soon. And we don't plan to go spooking you with sudden dramatic increases, if you know what I mean. So basically, it's feeding license is all inclusive with regards to the feeding features and general, I don't know, amount of pens. There might be like a marginal increases if you have, 50 pens, and then you have to add, and the feeding license goes up to 30 pens, and then you add $15 bucks a month. That's all marginal. I don't know if does it make sense? It is also very difficult to charge difficultly, and it's disorienting for the customer.
So are you saying that the feeding is $90 a month and the health and shoot is at $90 a month? So you put those two together and you end up with $180 a month?
Yeah, but if you bundle it, you will pay 160, 159. So we go adding value layers. Of course, today you can work completely with the feeding section and close out and everything, and even add the health costs, all for $90. At some point when we add like significantly new added sections, that don't prevent you to work end to end, but give you, like, of course, more user experience and give you more detail. Of course, we need to charge a little more, because otherwise we will go bankrupt. So we try to put this in layers, and yeah, that's the idea, that you go adding stuff, and yeah, that's about it. So this is still, like, even if you pay both, and even if you didn't have a discount, this is half the price of what the competition charges you. So it's still very, very much more convenient, and we're happy. There's a range of users that have been using the health section for free for the last month, just as a way to test it and receive feedback. We're happy to open it for free for this month, so you can just check it out. and saying this on a webinar, just July.
Remind me what you were thinking in terms of the roadmap on the shoot feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me.
Because I think those are really interconnected with the animal health.
Yes, absolutely, and that will be included. Of course, should will be included in this package. So let me show you here. Should is one of the sections that appears there, and but it says, "Hey, connected, coming soon." So basically, should is the moment where you execute much, but not all, of the features related to animal health and identification and weighing and sorting. So it's an important thing. It's an important moment. Think about it in the way you would think about the moment you're going to feed and you go and tap in the load and order screen and you get the black screen, and that's the real process in real time. So just very summarizing it, this is the part of the first part that you will see. Well, the first part is just the list of orders in shoot, and then you create a new order and you can establish and what are you going to do, and then off you go and you're treating cattle one by one. And if you're connected to the scale, this will auto populate and auto stabilize depending on how you connect to this the load cell or the head or the scale head, in the same way we do with the feed truck. If you have EIDs, like you will pass them and will be connected to our system, and you will automatically get the reading. So you basically do whatever you want to the extent that you want. You can treat, you can sort, you can weigh, you can identify, you can assign it ID, or you can just reread an ID, whatever ID you want. You can recheck the gender and breed or not. You can do like one or more of this stuff all in real time, and you go passing animal by animal. At the end, you have a report on this. And that's it. It's a huge thing. It looks simple. It's not simple to do, but for us to code, but it's meant to be very simple for you to execute. So then
I get that part. It's super important to have that piece if you're going to have animal health. I mean, you might as well not have the animal health if you're not going to have the shoot piece. So for at least from my perspective, in terms of efficiency, when can we expect the shoot piece to be ready to go?
Next month.
Okay.
It's a promise on a live webinar and recorded. We've been promising this for some time. It took us some more time to begin to do it because we were rolling with a lot of requests that we had to have and are fixing to the feeding, fixing to this, to that, animal health. So it might surprise you. It also surprised me. There's people that are using consistently animal health, even if they're not having the shoot, because they will do a lot of like bulk actions and they want to have it recorded. So it is also useful for them to organize all the sick pen management, because they can also already work with the IDs, even if it's not in real time on the black screen and the shoot, but they do a lot of stuff treating across the pens. So it became important and sufficient enough to be something that it works on itself. Of course, the shoot is super important and is, I would say, the strawberry of this dessert.
Is there any talk of, I talked to Santiago about being able to just treat the sick animals and not have to have them all put in the system, like just put the sick ones in? Is that an option, or do you understand what I'm saying?
Let me, because I have an overloaded information. So put the sick ones in where? just remind me, please, because I might have I kind of remember, but I don't remember exactly what was the piece.
So like of being able to just be able to put a sick calf in the system without putting all the pins identifications in. Say we get them today right off the truck and we don't know all the numbers, but we see a sick one and we want to treat that one. Can we treat?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I might have not gotten into detail here, but you can treat an animal anonymously, separate it, send it to the sick pen, and then edit it and add a EID later on. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
That's a given now. Now, like tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow when you see the update.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes, absolutely.
He said that was he was working on that, so I didn't know if that was going to be on this update or.
We were, and just this morning, one of my colleagues reminded me of this feature that we had it, and yeah, I was happy about it. So
perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. That's been my biggest complaint. So that's perfect.
Yeah, consider that regardless of exact features that you have, like our app allows you to do a lot of points of entry from an architecture standpoint of the app. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. Sometimes we don't have the feature that you see in place, but we can do it on the backside. Then it takes it's the time that takes us just to put it on track. But that's absolutely, and it's already, and in fact, just your example is already done.
Question about the protocol management setting up there. So it's either per pound or per head. And most of our drugs are per 100.
Per 100 weight?
Yeah, per 100 weight.
Well, we began with we can now add 100 weight. It didn't look like an urgency because given that 100 weight is like per pound but times 100, so we didn't do it just because we have many other things to do.
Okay.
We are happy to do that. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Just have us a little bit patience. We will put it on a list, and you can see along these webinars that we are moving quickly.
Right. No, I understand that. I was just bringing up a point, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate it. I have somebody in my team here that is taking note, and we'll have it done.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I don't want to make it longer. It's been 1 hour and 5 minutes. Not that bad. And I really want to say thank you to everybody for attending the meeting, the webinar. We're super excited for what's being launched today, for what's coming, and we encourage you to also help us, giving us feedback. We are all about feedback. We are all about you guys saying, hey, I would like these to work in this way or that way. We're not going automatically always take everything that is being said from anyone, but we will take very seriously everything, and we will try to put it in and fit in within the logic of a platform. So we're very, very ears open. We are also very open for you to detecting bugs, problems, and when you are improving fast, you also break stuff. So just let us know, but nothing is unsolvable. We just keep going and we fix it, and that's it. So thank you for your time, everybody.
Thank you for having these.
Thank you. Have a great day. We'll shortly publish this on the web.